It's time for yet another Myth Chaser episode, as the Fortnitemares update has brought so many new things for us to test and likely break together. If you haven't seen this series before or need a refresher, Myth Chasers takes the questions you leave in the comments below and tests them out in-game. So please throw a thumbs up on the myths you like and we'll test them next time. This week, Midas reawoke on BR Island. And as we received so many requests to see Midas fight other bosses, I've mashed all them into one episode, a single video. Hopefully in 10 minutes, you'll get the answers to all those questions. So slap code ADAMARU in the store to support this series, and let's get to some boss-on-boss action. Here's the map right now and all the locations of the current Fortnite bosses. Our job today is to take Midas to all these points for him to face off with Dr. Doom, Wolverine, Iron Man, and the Henchmen Bill and Ted. We spent a whole day getting this footage, by the way, and solving these myths, so let's see how many you can predict. Let's save Bill and Ted for last, because that's the best one. So our next decision is who shall Midas face first. We decided Dr. Doom would be his premier opponent. We began, and this is when we found our first issue. Midas will not leave his island for anyone, and every time he is thrown from it, he always runs back as quick as he can. We needed a plan. I called upon my Discord and recruited people in chat. Our 200 IQ brain decided to make a tunneled bridge all the way from the Authority to the football pitch, the soccer field which is now open at Doom's domain, where the green Goliath is currently waiting to do battle. Going from here to here. No easy feat. This is how it went down. The bridge worked like a dream. It even had badass struts, a great feat of engineering, and windows to monitor Midas's progress. Midas was being led over the lake with only fishing rods, bouncers, and the occasional wall. We were all ecstatic, but of course things don't always go to plan, and suddenly Midas escaped the tunnel and attempted to run back home. We sprang into action, and for the first 35 minutes, over half an hour, we pulled, blocked, pushed, and fished him over to the first boss battle of the season. This was a grueling task, but working together, we got Midas to the underground arena. He broke out about 6 times, but each time we dragged him back in until the final issue, only 2 tiles away from the fight. We didn't calculate that Doom would actually help Midas, his bolt attack transferring through many of us, allowing Midas to escape yet again. But that's not the end of this story. As Doom waited below, we dropped Midas into his secret bunker. Immediately, Doom hit Midas with the sweatiest AoE attack you've ever seen, but Midas didn't even pay attention. He brushed it off. He didn't care who Doom was. He was fixated on returning home, and that's when he made a rookie mistake. Trying to escape through the vault, which was shut firmly. For all he tried, he was now stuck, and although Doom's accuracy was like mine, this fight took forever, but eventually Doom prevailed. Midas was vaporized, and without blinking, Doom turned his eyes to us, so we bum rushed him, because that's how we roll on my Discord. Afterwards, we celebrated. This was a long time coming, but we did it, and we now know if Midas visits Doom's domain, he ain't gonna survive. I wondered if we should try this in reverse. Would Midas win on his own turf? What do you reckon? Finally, the cool kids climbed on the highest building to celebrate and danced for a while, and I was stuck on my own. One day I'll be a cool kid like those. Anyway, next myth. So, who shall Midas fight next? How about Iron Man? This time we wanted to make it a little fairer on Midas, who is programmed to run home even when in a fight. We chose a spot in between Iron Man and Midas and attempted to get both there. We quickly found that Iron Man is impossible to cage in due to his unibeam attacks, so we let him take the ground below Stark Industries. Then it was a case of getting Midas there. It was a little easier than getting him to Doom's domain, so we didn't need the tunneled bridge technique. It was messy though, look at this. We got carried away and covered far too much of the water, but I strangely find this satisfying. I digress. Over time, Midas was pulled over to the Man of Iron, but it quickly became apparent he didn't want to fight today. Always running away. And then every time we got him close enough, Iron Man would evaporate half our squad. But like always, we kept going and Midas and Iron Man locked eyes and began to fight. It was ultra one-sided, with Midas only firing 3 or 4 times, while Iron Man hit Midas with multiple unibeams. Midas was far too defensive and constantly ran backwards. This wasn't even a fight. But then something changed in Midas. He stopped running away and decided to get involved in the fight, standing his ground and tanking another blast. But this was too little, too late. Midas was defeated for a second time today. I hate to say this, but Midas may be the weakest boss in Fortnite. Oh, and if you're wondering, we bum rushed Iron Man again and decided to do the conga in celebration this time. Happy days. So let's address the elephant in the room, Wolverine. It's now his turn to face Midas, and to give Midas the best chance possible, we decided to bring Wolverine up to the ruins and give Midas home advantage. I think you can already guess what's going to happen here. Here we go. This time, Midas stood his ground right away, hitting Wolverine with shots before the Wood Wanderer even caught his scent. But then Logan took the battle to Midas and the two fought hard. Midas landed quality shots, but Wolverine's healing ability and those special attacks were too much for the new boss at the ruins. Wolverine wins. We tried to dance with the victor, but he was having none of it. So instead, for good measure, we took Wolverine to face Iron Man and Dr. Doom again. He still wipes the floor with them completely. Was this the end of our boss fight? Well, there is another set of bosses which are stronger than Wolverine. The mighty henchmen, Bill and Ted.
Hello, goodbye.
If you watched the last Myth Chaser episode, you'll have seen the henchmen destroy Wolverine multiple times. So we took Wolverine all the way over to Sweaty Sands for a rematch. Would we get the same result this time around? And it's the strangest thing ever. They no longer acknowledge each one exists. It's really weird. I think it's because the henchmen know they are supreme, and eventually, the henchmen will actually help Wolverine attack and back up this boss. It's really strange. At one point, Wolverine ran away, and the henchmen kept fighting, even killing a few of us before going back into passive mode again and walking away. So there's obviously been a change to the AI here. So that means we have one set of bosses left for Midas to face. Midas versus the henchmen for the title of toughest SOB in Fortnite. Think he's got a chance? Me neither. Right away we knew this was a huge task, as we'd never got a boss this far across the map before still standing. And once again I need to thank my Discord peeps, as this myth took over an hour to bring to fruition. Let's do this. From Sweaty Sands to the ruins is a long ass way. This is how far it is between Sweaty Sands and the authority or the ruins. This one took thousands of pieces of wood, brick and metal, with a dedicated bunch of folks frantically building, editing, fishing and, well, bickering. We did fell out a few times. Eventually we arrived and set up a way to force Midas and the henchmen to interact with each other. We took the boss to the taco stand. We know this is the favourite place of the henchmen. When we fenced in Midas, he accidentally shot Bill, or Ted. I don't actually know which one is which, to be honest. This shot was heard around the world, and both henchmen whipped out their pieces and began trading shots with Midas. This is now Midas's 4th fight, and he's slowly learning that running away is not the best option. And for the first section of this battle, Midas is on top, landing more shots than his opponents. Suddenly though, Midas went back to his old ways. He began to move away. And this became a genius move. This action forced the white henchman to pursue. And look at what happens when he comes round the corner. A deadly digital bullet. Midas had finally done it. He'd eliminated a boss. But now the other henchman, Ted, or is it Bill? I have no idea at all. He was out for vengeance, pursuing Midas, who continued to dodge and weave and back up and tried to go home. At one point, illegally running through someone's house. But we came here for an outcome, so we boxed in the last 2 bosses for the final face-off of the episode. And this happened. Midas won the face-off with not 1 but 2 bosses in Fortnite at the same time. What an absolute legend. Come on, be honest, did anyone guess that he'd win? I sure didn't think he had a chance. Once this battle was over, we took stock of the 1 hour and 20-minute journey we just went on to check this myth out. Building the community emblem, Hutwatch, on top of the ruins. Damn, that was fun. So that's this week's Myth Chaser episode. What do you think? I hope you enjoyed it. We'll go back to normal random things next time around, so please use the comments below for any myths you'd like us to test. On screen now are the people who made these crazy myths possible to pull off, those who use my code ADAMARU in the store. Thanks for sticking with me, I truly appreciate you. I'm Adam from PlayStation Grenade. It's been a pleasure. I'll see you next time.